And here is heat 1 of the men and women's 10K, Twilight 10K, ran by New Balance Boston. There is a horde of people in this. I don't think there's any other way to describe it. Just a horde. Hopefully we see some good elbows at the beginning. You know, you want to get your space. Make room. I imagine the starter is giving them specific instructions to mind your space. It's a long race. But hopefully they ignore that and really we see some action in this first 100 meters. Never seen a 10K fall started due to a fall, but of any 10K, this would be the one. Hopefully the camera holds out on us. We've been having technical difficulties all night. Power issues, if you were curious. But power issues not as bad as last year when UMass Lowell forgot to pay the electrical bill and the lights went out on us. That was at least the rumor, that they didn't pay the electric bill. Due to some minimal research by this stud reporter, I found that to be true. They're organizing themselves into the start
Boston
arc.
Team members who are not cooling down after their race should be helping out with this 10K. There's a small army on the starting line. A lot of laps to keep track of.
Should be an exciting race. I will be following the men's leaders, and I will try to give updates on the women. Hopefully we will see them. It will be difficult to keep track of both races at once, but we'll see what happens. If I overheard him correctly, the starter said, "Do not step on the runner in front of you." Good advice. That usually leads to slow races. This is taking a while. All right, we got a ways ahead of us. Long day. Here we go. And they're off.
And they're off.
A lot of people. We've got a couple pacers. From what I've been told, Paul Ruprecht, as you can see in third, is one of the pacers. Which leads me to believe that there are multiple pacers.
Men's leader through 200 meters in just over 33 seconds. Women's leader, 39 seconds or thereabouts.
"25-lap race. This is lap 1. Nobody looking too tired yet, which is good.
And the lead group settles into the pace. 71 seconds, just under 72 for the leader. Lead woman, 79 seconds through 400. And the lead pack of men hit 600 meters in 1:46. Lead woman, 600 meters, just under 2 minutes. Yeah.
So
approaching 23 laps to go.
Trying to pick out who the woman leader
change
is.
for our men's lead pack.
Looks like it. Looks like it is New Balance Boston. Is the
2
women's
minutes
leader.
39 and change for our women's leader. And our men's leader approaching the kilometer mark in 2:57. That is 29:30 pace for the entire distance. Women's leader, 1 kilometer, 3 minutes 18. About 33:30 for her. 3 laps for the men, 3:32 high. 22 to go for the lead men.
Looks like the lead woman is tucked in nicely with the group of men. That should make it significantly easier to hold that pace.
The men's lead pack is 8 in a single file line.
Men's lead pack is about 50 meters from catching the last women.
Substantial gap to the next 4. Another gap to the next 5 after that.
And the pack is starting to break up a little bit, pretty early in the race, but trying to run a fast time. Can't let anybody hold you back. Not sure who the pacers are in this pack.
4:44 for the men's lead pack.
That will become evident probably by around the 5K mark.
Yep.
Women's leader continues to move up, actually, working herself into
our women's leader
a new
approaching
group of men.
1,600 meters.
And they've caught the women. So that is the last group of women. Causes a separation in the pack. Big races like this introduce interesting strategies where you can make moves while passing groups, or lapping groups, to try to gain some separation. Probably see a lot of those tactics used.
Men's leaders, now a group of 3 that stalled off from the original lead group. Approaching 2,000 meters, this is 20 laps to go.
20 laps.
5:55. That is in about the 29:40 range.
So they've come back a little, on pace for 29:40. And they catching a group of Harvard girls.
The women's leader now approaching 2,000 meters. 20 laps to go for her. 6:36.
Leaders still seem to be very comfortable, which makes sense because they're not even a third of the way into the race. Seem to be sharing the lead very nicely.
Men's lead
must
group
have learned a lot in kindergarten.
To be a trio. through 2400, 707 unofficially.
Working on the next girl.
Rachel Sorna continuing to lead the women's race as she approaches 2,400 meters. There's 19 laps to go for her. 7:54. Our lead men's trio approaching 7 laps. That is 8:19 for them at 7 laps. We'll get their 3K split around the corner.
They're now passing Melissa Nash, a podium finisher from last year's 10K.
Men's leaders approaching 3 kilometers, 8 minutes 55.
8:55 for the 3K.
So about the 29:40s.
Still sub 30
for the whole thing. Sorna, our women's leader, approaching 7 laps, 18 to go for her. And she is at 9 minutes 14 at 7 laps. Here comes our men's lead trio. I believe this is Dan Lowry in the lead. Don't quote me on that though. They're approaching 3,200 meters.
That is Dan Lowry.
9 minutes 30, 9 minutes 31 for that lead men's group.
9:31.
Sorna on the back stretch, our women's leader, approaching the 3 kilometer mark. She is at 9:54, continuing to click off a just under 80-second per lap pace.
I've heard that running under the lights is makes you run a lot faster. Studies have proved that, or determined, I guess it wasn't proved, come to the conclusion that running at 7 o'clock is your athletic peak during the day. Here we are at just about 8 o'clock, so maybe a little past that, but closer than most races bring you. Running into a lot of traffic now. This should, might throw them off, but you know, they're pretty good. They're used to it. In this race, we also have Steven Polito, best known for his foot speed. So you got to watch out for him, even though he is not in that front group, which seems to have thinned to 1. So that makes me assume that there are no pacemakers, at least at the front. I don't know further back.
And our men's leader now all alone by himself. Again, I believe this is Lowry. He's approaching 4K. Right behind him is Sorna, the women's leader, approaching 3,600 meter mark.
So that's the men and women leaders.
Men's leader.
See if I can get them in the same picture.
Sorna continuing to lead the women's race as she passes through 9 laps. 16 to go.
Passing the group of Harvard girls again.
Coming up on 14 laps to go. That's 11 down, 14 to go.
Getting close to halfway. 2 more laps till that is the case.
And our women's leader continues to be Rachel Sorna, as it has been since the race began. She's approaching the 4K mark.
So, as you can see, just barely off the screen is the second man. Maybe he's fallen back to about 30 meters back. So don't count him out, but Dan Lowry's looking very good. Not commenting on his appearance, but his form, strength. Getting attacked by mosquitoes. Sorry for the camera work. This will be.
And here comes our men's leader, approaching the 12-lap mark, 4,800 meters.
Yeah, so coming close to 5K. We'll see what his 5K split is. I think we'll be able to get that.
That is about 14 minutes, 15 seconds, 14:16 thereabouts. He'll be at the halfway point when he gets around the corner. Women's leader. Coming up to 11 laps for her, 14 to go for the women's leader. 14:33.
So he should be sub 15 for this first 5K, still keeping him sub 30 pace.
Men's leader approaching the 5-kilometer mark. Passing about 14:51 unofficially.
14:51 if you didn't hear
the
that.
entire distance.
So you can see it's getting dark because the cars in the background have their lights on.
And here he comes around with 12 laps to go, our men's leader.
See if I can pick out the women's leader.
Women's leader Sorna approaching 12 laps. Again, when she comes around the back corner, she'll be halfway there.
She is coming through 12 laps right now.
15:55 unofficially.
So I'll see if I can get the women's 5K split.
Sorna gets 5K, 16:34 unofficially.
16:34, that is
just over 33-minute pace for her. Lowry, our men's leader, passes through with, I believe, 11 laps to go for him now.
Dan gobbling up
the
runners.
women's leader with 12 laps to go. 12 to go for the women's leader.
Some of the runners are talking, which means they're still relaxed past 5K. Good sign.
And here comes Dan Lowry, approaching 6 kilometers. He has 10 laps left.
Second place seems to be at least holding strong. Maybe 40 meters back at this point. So it's hanging in there. Third place is working hard to reconnect to him. Maybe 5 to 7 meters back of him. Despite being a big race, the race seems to have spread out quite a bit.
Mark for her. She has 11 to go. And here comes Lowry coming through 16 laps. .6,400 meters, roughly equivalent to 4 miles. 19:07 for Lowry. Lowry's into the single digits now. He has 9 laps to go.
Coming up on 2 miles to go in about 300 meters. Passing group of Harvard girls again.
Her 6K mark.
Rachel continues to lead the women's race.
Lowry continuing to lead our men's race. He has 8 to go. 2022 with 8 laps to go for him.
2022 with 2 miles to go. So, as long as he can continue running about 9:30, which he's been doing, he should be golden. On pace for about 29:50. See if he can ratchet it down a little bit this last 2 miles.
Rachel Sorna coming around, completing her 16th lap. Continuing to impress, knocking off those 82nd laps. 21:20 for her with 9 laps to go.
Another interesting character in this race, Andrew Erskine, overcoming all sorts of aerodynamic odds with all his ape hair all over his body to run very well in the indoor season and continuing to outdoor, it looks like. See if I can pick him out. He is coming up on finish line right about now. So I'm assuming he is 200 meters behind.
Nine to go for our women's leader, Sorna.
And there's the women's leader. Looks like. I believe that is the women's leader with the ribbon in her hair, the second one there. I think she is lapping.
Lowry continuing to lead the men's race.
Lapping the other running. It looks like that might be Keeley. Hard to tell from this distance.
When he comes around, he will have 2K left to go. That is 5 laps left to go for him when he comes around.
There's Stephen Polito looking around. Courteously moving to the outside. Or that might have been a mistake. Never know. We'll see if we can catch up with him for a post-race
Just under
interview.
24 minutes for Lowry as he passes the line.
Lowry looks back, see if anybody is challenging him. Let's see. Second place is
8 to go for
about 80 meters back. So he has a sizable lead, but still not out of the woods yet. Second place is the man in the bright yellow from before, so he was previously in third. And I am getting eaten alive by mosquitoes. Sorry if I get distracted. This guy is keeping pace with for a while.
Dan Lowry. 4 laps to go.
Trying to pass him. Wow, that is
25-12.
unconventional. Prevent the lap. Don't let yourself be lapped. That is what this man is thinking, and he is off to the races. Dan is probably laughing or annoyed.
Continuing to move in impressive fashion.
This is an impressive move. Looks like Dan woke the other runner up. Decided to prevent him from lapping him and has taken off. Interesting development. This just in. Breaking news.
Women's leader Rachel Sorna approaching 8 kilometers. That means 5 to go for her. Trying to hold on to that 82nd pace she's been maintaining so solidly. 26:48:49 at 8K for her.
So 5 laps to go for the woman, it looks like, sounds like. These mosquitoes are starting to get really bad. I bet they're not biting down on the track.
Men's race leader Dan Lowry.
Coming up to 2 to go.
Wrapping up the long journey. 27:40 at 2 to go. An excellent shot at breaking 30 minutes.
That is
and
not.
our women's leader coming up on 4 laps to go for her. Four to go for Sorna, 28:10.
And 500 to go for Dan Lowry. So looks like a pretty decent race out of him, even soloing most of it.
Here he comes, 1 lap to go.
Lap. And second place is not that far behind. He seems to have closed ground, maybe 50 to 60 meters back, though I don't think Dan has to worry too much right now. See if I can pick out Rachel, the women's leader. Oh, it looks like she is coming down the home stretch right now. Not sure how many she has to go.
And coming to the line, this is in fact our men's winner. Just under 29:40.
Final 100 meters.
Apologies for not identifying you earlier. With Lowry in second. Gunning for sub 30.
And that's that for the men's 10K. That was the winner.
30:02, 30:03 for Lowry in that range. Jonas Hampton in third, 30 minutes 15 unofficially.
And we have
33 for our fourth
runners
finisher.
continuing to run and runners finishing up. Ape coming down hard on the back stretch. You'll see him entering the camera shortly. Finishing up a pretty good race. Good charge. Finishing lane 2.
Sorna counting
Hands
down
straight
the
to the
laps,
hips.
just under 31 minutes.
That's the women's leader going through right now at the top of the screen.
She has 2 to go.
2 to go for her. 800 meters. Some other runners finishing up. And Stephen Polito with the extra leg speed, finishing strong right here. Lane 2. Hands didn't go to the hips. Interesting development. I think he goes with the knee strategy. Yep, there he is. Rachel coming on to Bell Lap. And sorry, I said that prematurely.
And approaching the
She
bell.
is approaching
Rachel
Bell
Sorna,
now.
New Balance Boston, 1 lap to go.
Fran finishing up from New Balance Boston right here. It's unfortunate there's no clock at the finishing line. We have a better sense of where these runners were finishing. Johnny finishing up. Go, Johnny, go. Go. Melissa Nash coming through the line, and I believe Keeley. Daniel Lounsbury. Number of runners out on the track is seeming to dwindle as people finish up. There's a cute dog on the infield. And this should be Rachel finishing up in the next couple seconds. Not this first woman, but the second one. And see if she stops. Yes, and that is your women's winner and leader.
Takes the women's race unofficially 33-36.
That was a very good race out of her. She looks tired. I think that was Jess, Abby, and Melissa Nash from New Balance Boston.
And looks like our second finisher for the women, 34-44.
And here's Jess and Melissa and Keeley finishing up for New Balance Boston. And that wraps up the New Balance Twilight meet, the 10K and last event. Signing off.